Let us try to solve the exercise number 7 in the part B of a BCA lab. In this particular exercise, we are supposed to enter the information of a student. The information includes the name of the student, the register number of the students, and marks in three subjects into a structure, and then display the total, average, and grade. So this is what we are supposed to do that thing. And you notice over here is that you are supposed to enter a student. That means to say that you are supposed to create a structure. So this is going to be a very simple program, because you are supposed to create one student and store the information in one structure, and then finally display the total and average as well as the grade. So let's go ahead and let's do this program. I'm going to go to the code block here. I'm going to click on the new here, and I will select the file, and I'm going to select the C source program, because you know very well we are developing the C programs here. So let's go here and then say C source and then click OK. Let me click next and select the C program, and go to the particular location where you are supposed to store the program. And I'm going to just say this one as exercise B7. And I'm going to just save this one and finish it off. As usual, we know very well that any C program that you are writing will start with the include stdio.h. Now, this is not the general case, but generally you do that thing in most of the cases. It's not that every program must have stdio.h. If suppose your program is not taking any input output from the standard input devices, then you may go for something else. So let's go and let's create the structure. And before we create this structure, let's look at what are the things that we are supposed to do. We are supposed to get the name, register number, and marks in three subject into this particular structure. So let me go ahead and let me do that part. So I'm going to just say struct, and let me call this one as a student, and let me press enter. And very important is most of the students, they don't put the semicolon over here. See, after the structure you are supposed to put the semicolon, so that's required. Generally you don't put when you write include stdio.h, you don't put the semicolon there, because it's a preprocessor directive. It's not the part of the C as such. It is just a directive for the C. Now let's start with what we are supposed to get it. So let me start with that. So what is this? The register number. So I'm going to say int reg number. So let me say this is a reg number. Done. And what else we require is the name of the student. Name is there. So let me go ahead and let's say I'm going to take character, and I will take the name. I assume that you won't type very lengthy name, because you know very well during the examination you may not have enough time to type very lengthy things there. And finally, we have marks in three subjects. I'm going to take them as M1, M2, M3. And I assume that all the marks are integers here. So I'm going to say M1 is my first mark, M2 is my second mark, and M3 is my third mark. Let's start the main now. So I'm going to say void main. And what are the things that we require? Definitely we require a variable for this student. So I'm going to start with the struct, and I'm going to say student, and let me call it as a yes. Okay, and we need to read all the details over here. What are the details that we are supposed to read here? Is we are supposed to read all the three things here, that is name, register number, and marks in three subject, and they are readily available inside this structure. Apart from that, I am supposed to calculate the total, average, and grade. So let me go ahead and let me do that thing. So I assume that when you add all the integers, you get the total as integer itself. But when you try to find the average, you may get the average in the floating point, like 3.5, 75.5, 78.5, something like that. And finally, we have a grade. I'm going to take a character pointer for that. So I'm going to say character, and I'm going to say grade. Okay, done with that. So let's accept all the details of the student. So this is the grade, that is first class, second class, or distinction. That's the grade that we generally use. So let me go here and let me use a printf statement, and I'm going to say printf, and I'm going to say enter student details. Okay, so let me use /n over here, and maybe I will use what is this, what is this, printf, and I'm going to put the dash 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 here, so it looks nice. Okay, I'm doing only just because it just looks nice. That's not required. If you don't like, just don't put that thing. Okay, then let's start with the individual thing. So I'm going to say my finger is at the wrong place, so print f, and I'm going to say first one is the register number. So a reg number, let me put it as reg dot number in a neat way. Okay, and I'm supposed to read that thing. Okay, so how can I read that thing? I use the scanf. Okay, and let me put the percentage d, and because if you look at here, the remember I'm supposed to read it into this structure, which is now represented as yes, and this is a direct variable, so I have to put the ampersand here. So ampersand yes dot reg number. So that is done. I'm going to just copy paste it because I need it 3 times. The next thing that I need is the name of the student. So let me do here, and I'm going to say the name of the student. If you look at this name of the student, it's actually a array. I'm going to refer to this array. So this is actually an array that I'm going to refer to. So this that I'm referring to is the array, not the with a one particular cell within that array. So I'm not referring to that. So I don't need the ampersand here, and because I'm reading a string here, I'm going to just say this is going to be the name here. Okay, done. Okay, and let me put one more thing, that is the marks in 3 subjects. So let me write that thing, and I'm going to say marks in 3 subject. Done. And this marks is 3 marks are there. This is the first mark, second mark, and the third marks, and this is going to be m1 for the first mark, that is m1, and I'm not going to write it again, so let me copy paste it. This is m2, and finally m3. So you got 3 marks there. After that, I'm supposed to calculate the total. So let's get the total. So how do you get the total? Total is nothing but m1 plus m2 plus m3. 3 marks are there, so just add 3 marks and you get the total. So how do you say that? Under yes, remember it's a structure there. So under yes you have m1. So this is the yes is the variable of type student, and it contains m1, m2, m3. So you say yes plus m1, yes dot m2 plus yes dot em3. So I got the total, and let me get the average there. How do you get the average? Average is nothing but the total. So total divided by 3.0. Remember, if you type 3 here, total is integer and 3 is also integer. Integer divided by integer, you will get the integer itself. So make one of them as floating point. Either you can make this as floating point, or you just typecast the total as float. Both are one and the same. You're going to get the answer. So you got the answer. Let's get the grade now. So I'm going to use the grade checking here. So you know very well, if a student has got less than 35 in any of the subject, then the student is failed. So that is what I'm checking here. If any of the subject, that is if S1 or S2, I mean M1 or M2 or M3, so if any of them is less than 35, then the grade happens to be a fail. Okay. So this is the grade. Else if the average, that is whatever you get, average is greater than or equal to 75 or 70, because they have not said anything about that. I just assume that it is 75 for the distinction. If it is 70, you just make it as 70. So that's not a big deal over here. So the grade is a distinction. Done. And let's look at the other else if. Else if the average is greater than 60, it is not greater than 70, but it is greater than 60, that means it is first class. You know very well. If you get more than 60, then it is first class. You are already familiar with that. And then let's go to the next one. Else, if you know very well, if you get the average more than 50, then you have the grade as second class. Second class. Okay, done. Else, remember, you are not failed. If you have failed, you would have got it here. That means you got the third class. Generally, they just say not the third class. Generally, they say it is pass class. You just passed the subject class. Done. So you got everything now, and I'm going to just display the student details now. So you have entered the student details. Okay. Then let me use a printf statement over here, printf, and I'm going to say student information. Let me do it like this, and /n over here, and let me use one printf. Printf. I think my finger is at wrong place. Printf, and I'm going to put dash 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 up to here. Let me remove this one. Okay, so let's remove this, and I'm just making it so that it looks slightly beautiful. Okay, done with this one. Done. Yeah, this is just to make the things beautiful. And let's start printing one thing at a time. So I'm going to print EF here, and I'm going to say register number, percentage D. Just put here percentage D, and this is what is this one? Yes dot red number. So I got the register number. I'm going to copy it. So select it. So just select it if you know how to select it. Using the mouse also you can do it. Otherwise using the keyboard also you can do it. Control C and Control V to paste it. The next one happens to be the name. So let me, so name, and let me type that name here. So this is happens to be name, and this has to be, you know very well, name is a string. Okay, let me go here and then paste one more time. Then marks in first subject. So okay, marks 1, and this happens to be M1. Done. And I think I'll copy this one, and I've copied it and I'm pasting it. So marks in subject 2, and this is M2, and again paste it, and let me make it as marks in subject 3. So I just copied that. M1, M2, M3 is going to repeat. So I've done that thing. Then let me go over here, and I'm going to say total. So here let me make it as a total. Now only thing that I'm missing in all the cases is I think I'm supposed to just I just remember that I'm supposed to use /n here, so that it let it come in different lines. So otherwise everything will come in one line. So I don't want that thing to happen. So I'm using /n here, new lines after everything, so that it just comes in the next line. So what is this total? We have already calculated the total here. Where is the total? We have already calculated that total. So I'm going to use that total here. Total is the variable name now. Then let me print one more thing, and I'm just pasting it, Control C, Control V. You can always do that thing. And what else you have is average. And what is this average? We have already calculated this average. Where is the average that we have calculated? That is AVG. This is the one that we are calculating. So I'm going to say this is AVG. However, average is a floating point number, and whenever you print the floating point number, you get 7 precision, that is 7 decimal places precision. So I don't want all the 7 decimal places. I want only 2 decimal places precision. So I'm going to put dot to F for 2 decimal places precision. And let me print the last one, and that is the grade. So let me just put the grade here. Grade, and this is the string. Okay. First class, second class, third class is a string, and the grade that we have already calculated here, that is, this is the grade. So let me put it here, and I'm going to say this is my grade. Done. And finally I'm going to use one more printf just to make the things beautiful by putting this one and maybe slash n. Not really required. Slash n is not required this time because it's going to be a what is that last line. And again, I just forgot to put the slash n here. After everything, just put slash n because you want all of them to come in one line, not in just a single line. Let me compile it. If there is any compilation error, you will see them. And once it is compiled, let me run the program. Hope it is taking slightly longer time. Okay, so register number is 101. Name, let me put my name, money. Marks in 3 subjects. Let me say this is 68, 78, 88. Press enter, and you get student information, register number, name, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, distinction. If you want, you can just put slash n here to just make it slightly go down. I'm going to just put 1 slash n here right at the beginning. I'm going to just put slash n here. Okay. So if you want, you can make slightly longer one, and also this one slightly longer one. Okay, let me run it one more time. I see I'm pressing Control S to save the file, need not to save. So before you run it, it is better you save it and then run it. I do it manually because it just goes into my hand. Control S before running the program. So you have the register number 102, and let's say he's Ravi, and what are the things that you have marks in 3 subjects, say 99, 78, and 88. Let me do that thing. And this is the distinction mark 83.33, and that you have it. Now only thing is, if you have a lot of time during the examination, you notice that this is not coming, it is not coming like here. This is slightly this side. Let me do that thing and zoom in and just show you. So you notice that all of them are coming here, but this is a black shape and this is a black shape. If you have a lot of time during the examination, you can just make them align in one line. How do you do it? How to do it? Go to this name here, and after this name, printf name is there now. You just put space, 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 and make it get here. You just put space, 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 you get it here. You just put space, 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 you get it here. Okay. So I press Control S, let me rerun it. So I'm pressing Control S here to save the file. Let me do it 103. Let's say Radha, and let's say this is 55, 66, and 45, let's say, and that's it. So you get everything in line. So student information and the details. So this is what you're supposed to do. It very simple program, and hope you'll be able to do it during the examination. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next exercise. Thank you.